is ALLY. Allyson Reed.
Welcome to the Gay Head Light.
Welcome to you too. You come every day.
5 days, and if you look over there, this is the oldest lighthouse on Martha's Vineyard in the newest location. It used to be over there for 159 years. Those stones they actually found when they were doing the dig. They moved over 3,000 tons of clay, soil, and rock to make room for the rails to move this lighthouse safely back from the cliffs. A year ago, Memorial Day weekend, those stones were from the old lighthouse keeper's home. And so they decided to use them in the new park plan, which is so much heart and thought has gone into this. This fence will come down in September so everybody can enjoy the Lighthouse Park. So here we go in to the Gay Head Light. Ready? Here we go. Welcome inside the lighthouse. The bricks, these beautiful bricks. If you look, let me try the light. You can see the little stones. These are actually from the clay from the cliffs that we're on. 160 years ago, we know that the clay actually came from the cliffs. The bricks, we're not so sure, 100%. You know, they could have been made off island and brought here. So since we can't say 100%, we don't say that. But if you'll notice, this is a question we get all the time from visitors about those wooden bricks in there. You see? So the wooden bricks were actually put in 160 years ago when they first made this lighthouse. They wanted it to be plastered on the inside. And so the only way to do that is to have wood bricks that you can nail the lath into. You can't nail into clay. So then they covered all this with plaster, but then we've got our soupy, humid, wet weather, and so over years the plaster rotted out. So they eventually just tore it all out, and it's the question that stumps everybody, you know. And we used to have a wonderful, beloved guide here named Todd Follansby, and he used to say, if you can tell me why those wood bricks are here, you can have a free entrance to the lighthouse, and nobody ever could in 2 years. Come when the lighthouse was still over there, the grass went right up to the brick, and they didn't know until they started digging to move the lighthouse. They didn't know if they were going to find 20-foot base, 10-foot base. Well, it was 2.5 feet, which was great for the movers. It meant that they didn't have as much digging before they could put the rails underneath to move it. And I believe it meant that they didn't have to cut into the lighthouse itself, foundation. But they discovered that 18 inches of polished granite was actually underneath here and meant to be seen. So they incorporated that in the new location plan to be seen. So she's actually never looked better. I say she because they call her the Red Queen, because the resemblance to the queen from a chess set. And of course her wonderful red bricks. So this is all the original, and it's 160 years old. For 90 years, this lighthouse lit this end of the island and safeguarded boats on the Vineyard Sound from the rock reef that's out there called the Devil's Bridge, with whale oil and kerosene, because Aquinnah didn't get electricity until 1952. It was the last town in Massachusetts to get electricity.
That's interesting.
This is a little slideshow we have set up to give visitors just a little sense of how do you move a 400-ton lighthouse, 134 feet.
Very inspired. Very inspiring.
Very, very, yeah. So now we're going up to the watchroom level. And it's not just for keeping watch. This is where they wound the gears to make the Fresnel lens rotate and keep its flash. And we'll get into that in a minute. Here we begin some of the best views on Martha's Vineyard. Stepping out onto our balcony, you can take in the restaurants and shops, which sit above a World War II bunker that was armored during World War II and looked for submarines from Germany. And then the magnificent Moship Beach and the town parking lot, 10-minute walk down to the beach, and then you have a whole different perspective of the Aquinnah Cliffs. And there's no better perspective than being down on the beach looking up to them. Also from here you can take in the Elizabeth Islands, which are about 10 miles out. They stretch 16 miles up to Woods Hole. Cutty Hunk is the public one. That, you know, I don't know much about it really. And then of course we've got the beach below. There's another bunker down there in the water that didn't survive the eroding cliffs. You can see the man-made looking object down there. And that's there forever. There's a walker on the beach enjoying what's left of the low tide.
It's interesting because from here we really can see the site where where Gay Head Lighthouse was with the stones, the landmark.
Yes,
That's right.
And here's another thing we can see from here. Again, part of this such a thoughtful park plan. You see the openings in the footprint circle. So they represent the compass. The red for east, and first light in the east is the Native American kind of belief, and then the rest of the openings are north, west, and south for the compass rose. The centerpiece was what was underneath this lighthouse for 160 years. They left it there to represent where it was, because it had to be replaced when it got over here anyway. From here, Bella, you can also try to imagine 200 feet out, 1799, the original little wooden lighthouse that certainly would have also been represented safe harbor to many Portuguese fishermen returning probably to the vineyard. Another interesting, as we take in this view, you and I this morning, what do we see? A couple sports fishermen, maybe some boaters, but a couple hundred years ago, if we were the lighthouse keepers, this was the main highway. So we would have seen hundreds and hundreds of schooner sails. Rush hour, maybe 200 or 300 at a time, because they didn't have the highways. This was it. Only the English Channel was the busier waterway back in the day. So you can imagine. Very important lighthouse.
Hi.
Scott Crawford, Lighthouse Guide Extraordinaire, and just one of many of the team up here at the Gay Head Light who meets and greets.
Makes it all work.
Tries to make it all work. And
Talks a lot of history.
yeah. Take a couple of pictures.
Yep.
Tell people how to get to the beach.
Yep.
This is a wonderful stuff because we never know where the beach is.
But everyone wants to go down the cliffs, which you can't do anymore.
Cliffs are too fragile now, so there's no more access from the cliffs except from the tribe, and they tend to not use it either because they want to protect the cliffs too, because it's sacred to them.
Now we're at the very top of the lighthouse, or the actual light room itself, in which the light rotates 24/7. As you will see, my face will get very white right now, and then at 7.5 seconds, it will get red. And so that's As our standard code, we have a signature light, so there's the red. And so that way when mariners see this light, and every 7.5 seconds there's a white light or a red light, they know that they're in Aquinnah. So every lighthouse in the world has a completely different signature. It's depending on the length of the flash, the time between the flashes, and the color of the flashes.
These images are from the Gay Head Lighthouse. I'm on the top of it.
So this was the original lens. When this was running, and it would have been above us where the electrical light was, the flash was white, 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 red, white, 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 red. And so that would have been the unique flash for the town of Aquinnah, or at that point still called Gay Head. And so once they electrified it, they changed the system to a white and red every 7.5 seconds, because apparently this was a very complicated way to create the light, and it would cause a lot of problem because they had to retrain everyone who came here to learn about the light, and they didn't want to do that. So, but it is, you know, downtown Edgartown. Got a good close look up.
Here we have where the Gay Head light sat for 159 years as the cliffs slowly got closer and closer. So 4 years and $3.4 million later, here we are, moved everybody in the community on island and off, raised the money to safely move the lighthouse back to where we are now, and where we have a guarantee of 150 years. Welcome to the Gay Head Light, Bella. My name's ALLY REED.
I'm Scott Crawford.
And we're from the Martha's Vineyard Museum. And we are docents here going on 4 5 years, 6 years. And we love it. We've never had a bad day at work.
Nope.
Isn't that
it's all
right?
good.
Yep. And in July alone, we had 7,000 visitors to the Gay Head Light.
Just in July.
Just in July, of which about 1,500 were children that we let in for free under 12. And you can come see us if you like. We are open Memorial Day through October 10th, which is Columbus Day this year. And don't forget sunsets on Thursdays.
11 to 4 every day, sunsets 6 to 8.
Thank you guys very much. I think 150 years to go with you guys keeping this love with this Gay Head Lighthouse.
I hope we age as well as she has.
That's true.
I hope I will be here and make another movie.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye. Come see us, everyone. Light attracts light.